Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Championship Prediction League. And we've reached the halfway point of the Championship season, Game Week 23. I'm joined by Oli Mann on this episode. And Oli, I think I'll let you bring the good news in the form of kind of a bad Santa Claus, I think, in terms of my perspective, because I've absolutely smashed the predictions, haven't I?
Yeah, you're doing all right, really, aren't you, Si? And depends who this is good news for, because, of course, last week I thought I was doing all right. I was feeling as though I was going to start catching up. I was going to be getting back into this. I got 6 points from my predictions. I beat Gab. Gab picked up 5 points from his. But we were both eclipsed, weren't we? You got 12 points last week, which just stretches your lead in the league at the moment. You've got 60 points overall. I am in second place with 43, and Gab is languishing on 41. At the minute, you are living up to your team, aren't you? You know, you're flying away at the top of the league, starting to pull away, thinking that promotion is within your grasp. So yeah, me and Gab have got some work to do to try and fill that gap.
Am I going to bottle it? That's the question.
Oh, absolutely.
To be fair, I nailed Swansea 2, Wrexham 1 with a bit of help from Arthur Okonkwo, and I nailed Preston 1, Norwich 1 as well along the way. So all good. We should start Boxing Day fixtures. Merry Christmas, everyone, by the way. I hope you enjoy the festivities, but the festive football is coming on Boxing Day. Birmingham versus Derby County. Ollie. Birmingham, absolutely dreadful away from home. Pretty good at home. Derby under John Eustace, always tricky to play against.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a really difficult game. And obviously, I saw Birmingham in the flesh last weekend. They were dreadful at Bramall Lane. Even with 11 men, they were rubbish. I don't know why they turned up to Bramall Lane and just decided they were going to try and get a red card. I mean, there must have been 3 occasions in the first half where they pulled down a player running through on goal, and you thought that may be a bit lucky to get away with that. And then, of course, Tommy Doyle absolutely blasts his way through Gustavo Harmer, and it was one-way traffic from that point onwards. The result never really in doubt for United. But at home, they're a completely different team. Unbeaten in their last 5. They've won 4 of the last 5. They've scored 15 goals in those games. They are a fantastic side at St Andrews. But I think the pressure will start to tell on Davis if he can't start to get some results away from home. I really felt as though that performance at Bramall Lane was the kind of performance that gets a manager the sack. And so he will really want a bounce back. He'll want a reaction here. Derby are always difficult to play, but I am just backing that home win. 2-0 to Birmingham.
2-0 you're going for. I can see Derby scoring the first goal and it getting very, very tense around St Andrews. How do they respond to that? I think I'm going to go for a 2-1 Birmingham win, a comeback win. I think he needs it, doesn't he? He absolutely needs it. And if they drop points here or lose this game, pressure is massively on his shoulders. Next up, Millwall versus Ipswich. By the way, everyone, please do like and subscribe to the channel. Get your score predictions in the comments down below. Millwall, Ipswich. Ipswich, if they keep winning games, they're going to eventually break into that top 2, up to 3rd right now, Ollie.
Yeah, they are maybe starting to look like, but I keep saying this. I keep saying they're looking like the team who we expected at the start of the season, and then they throw in a shocker. I said it a few weeks ago, then they lost to Oxford. So I don't want to get too carried away with where Ipswich are at right now. But clearly, to me, they've got the best squad in the division, and they should be right up there. So to see them sitting in 3rd doesn't shock me. However, their away form isn't fantastic. No win in their last 3. And Millwall are an interesting side to try and predict. I looked at their last 10 games. They went 4 without a win to start those 10 games. They then won 3 in a row and went 4 unbeaten. They've then lost 2 in a row over the last couple of weeks. So they seem to be a streaky side, and they're a hard one to predict. But given Ipswich's away form, I'm going to predict a slight... You can't call it an upset when you're predicting a draw, can you? But I'm going to call it an upset. I'm going to predict an upset, 1-1.
I think Millwall have a lot of injuries at the moment, if I remember correctly. I think Ipswich have got a brilliant squad, although I think George Hurst is actually out as well. So it'd be interesting to see how McKenna copes with that. I have to back Ipswich. I've backed them all season to be a really good team. I think they will win this game. I'm going to go for a 2-0 Ipswich Town win. Oxford, Southampton, and my word, not Gary Rowett's Oxford anymore. What on earth has happened there? I think I was very surprised by that, Ollie. But from the Oxford fans' point of view, they actually seem like it's been coming. It's almost like he's talked himself into it a bit in the last few weeks. He's made some silly team selection decisions from the sound of things. And the Oxford fans are actually quite happy to see the back of him, which is just baffling given what he did last season. Excuse me. Go on, mate.
It's a really interesting one. And I think the Oxford fans' reaction is potentially due to the availability of Liam Manning. I think there does seem to be a lot of talk right now amongst the Oxford fans that I'm seeing online is suggesting that he's going to be the person who comes in to try and pick up the reins. But to me, that is, I like Liam Manning. I think the job that he's done, particularly at Bristol City last season, was outstanding. I had him down as the Championship Manager of the season last year. I'm that big on him. I thought he did an unbelievable job. However, do I want him walking into a relegation battle off the back of what's just happened to him with Norwich, off the back of Oxford's squad maybe not being built for the way that he's going to want to play and what he's going to want to get out of them? Not at all. I think Gary Rowett is the best man to get Oxford out of this position. If you said to me, who should they hire tomorrow? I'd probably say Gary Rowett. He's a Championship cheat code for the relegation zone. But we know that Oxford's owners don't just want to be a Championship relegation battler. They don't want to be in this situation season after season. They want to grow and develop the club beyond just being in this position. We saw that last season with the decision they took to sack Des and bring Gary Rowett in. They said that gives them the best chance of success. They're doing the same thing again. I personally can't understand it. I think this decision will probably ultimately give them relegation to League One. I think for me, their odds of relegation have gone massively down in my head. I think they are more likely to get relegated as a result of this decision than they were before. And I think the post-Rowett world is going to start with a bit of a bang. I think they're going to lose 3-0 to Southampton at the weekend.
It's weird, isn't it? I was way more confident back in a big Southampton win before they sacked Gary Rowett, which doesn't make any sense to anyone, but that's football, isn't it? That's exactly what happens. You know what I mean? Will there be a bit of not a new manager bounce, an old manager gone bounce? I don't think so. I think Southampton are a really good team. I think they did well against Coventry. Probably should have beaten them, but couldn't break down the 10 men. I will go for a 2-0 Southampton win, which would be a big win for them. Portsmouth, QPR. Oh, Ollie, this is a really... I'll tell you what, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw straight out the bat because I like QPR's attacking players. I think got a lot about them. I think Portsmouth's Fratton Park form has to improve and has to improve soon. I want to see more from Colby Bishop and Josh Murphy and the usual suspects there. But I'm going to play it very safe and go for a 1-1.
Yeah, it's a really tricky one because I think coming off the back of that performance last weekend, lots of people are going to be saying QPR, they're going to fly. They're a fantastic team in great form, but I actually disagree. I think this will go the other way. I think they'll maybe rest on their laurels a little bit coming off the back of that Leicester result, going away from home on Christmas for Boxing Day, going all the way down to Portsmouth is really difficult for families, for young men who are obviously having to be away from the families over the sort of Christmas break. I think that they'll lose this one. I think Portsmouth have got to get their home form going. So I'm backing a 1-0 Pompey win.
Very interesting indeed. West Brom, Bristol City. Bristol City, massive win, obviously, over a Middlesbrough and a really good performance in that game. West Brom, Ryan Mason, very much hit and miss. I'll let you go first on this one while I have a think.
You've basically just read my notes. I mean, I just can't get a sense of where these two teams are at the minute. I think West Brom look fantastic in moments. I think Bristol City can be excellent, but do they sustain it? I just don't back either team consistently. And so when I can't back a team consistently and I don't know where they're going to stand and they're playing each other, I think the game goes one of two ways. You have a really boring 0-0 that nobody enjoys, or it becomes one of the most fun games of the weekend to watch. I'm going to back this one for fun. For the sake of the points I need to catch up to you, I'm going to back a lot of fun. I'm going to go for a 3-3 draw.
We should say, by the way, it's 1 point if you get the correct match result. It's 3 points if you get the correct score. And if you get 5 points if you predict a correct score with 5 goals or more. So that's what Ollie's going for here. 3-3. That would be mental, wouldn't it? I think, I don't know. Along the same lines? I think I'm along the same lines as you, really. I'm going to go for a 2-2 and just not be quite as brave as you. So I'll go for a 2-2 in West Brom, Bristol City. Stoke, Preston. Stoke, I think it's 4 defeats out of 5 now. Mark Robin's struggling to get a tune out of them right now. Amazing season. Preston really still battling for those playoff places. I think this is a good marker for whether these teams can actually make it into the playoffs this season, Ollie. Both of them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, Preston have low-key put together an unbelievable run of form. They only lost 1 of the last 11, but unfortunately, they have also drawn 5 of their last 8 games 1-1. And I think for me, that seems to be the perfect marker. I think I can't predict these two teams. Stoke are in a terrible run. They were atrocious at Bramall Lane, and I seem to judge every team just on how they play at Bramall Lane. If you're a rubbish at Bramall Lane, that's it. I'll write you off forever. But very much, I think Stoke are a team who have got an excellent defensive record this season, but really seem to be struggling to make that count, particularly in recent weeks. I'm going to stick to the form, go 1-1. I think that seems to be the easiest way to predict Preston at the minute.
I'm going to go for an even more boring 0-0 draw. I can't separate them. I think Stoke have got really good attacking players, but I haven't seen much of it lately. And Preston just like picking up points, as you say, and drawing games. 1-1 maybe is more sensible, but I'm going 0-0, which brings us to Middlesbrough, Blackburn, Rovers. Kim Hellberg lost his first game in charge, but they still created an awful lot of chances, which gives me hope that this is a good Middlesbrough team. They can finish in the top 2 this season. They're not that far behind Coventry, by the way, only 6-point gap. There's a lot to like about Middlesbrough. I'm going to back a pretty comfortable home win, even though Blackburn got that win over Millwall at the weekend. Blackburn have come up with some weird results lately, Ollie, haven't they, actually? They've won a few games here and there when they've been able to finish them. But I will go 3-1 Middlesbrough.
I really enjoyed that little when they've been able to finish them, because that does seem to be the story of Blackburn's season, doesn't it? They have got a fantastic away record. Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. They've got a fantastic away record, Blackburn, but obviously Middlesbrough, an unbelievable team at home. There's a reason they are where they are in the division. And actually, we've been talking about it as if it's a fluke. It's not. Middlesbrough have been a really good championship team this season, and maybe we need to put a little bit of respect on that. With that in mind, I think it's only Coventry that have beat Middlesbrough at Middlesbrough so far this season. I don't see Blackburn being anywhere near that level. So I'm just going to go for a comfortable 2-0 home win.
We'll say on that, Middlesbrough probably should have won that game as well. Tommy Conway missed that sitter from 5 yards out at 2-2. If he scores that, Middlesbrough probably beat the league leaders and are right up where with them. So it's the small moments that can decide games in the Championship. Leicester City, Watford. We're talking of teams that are hard to judge. Leicester City, my word, I have no idea what's going to go on with them from week to week. They've got amazing individual players. They're not getting a tune out of them. I'm going to back a Watford win. I like Watford. I think Watford are really exciting. I think they've got really exciting attacking players. I think at some point they will go on a winning run where they get maybe like 4 or 5 wins out of 6 and they climb into those playoff places. I'm big on Watford. I'm not big on Leicester. I can't trust them. Is this the one I go for the big goals? 4-2 Watford. That's the big one. That's the big one.
That is the big one. And I mean, that is a hell of a shout. For me, I can't get a handle on Leicester right now. I think Cifuentes, it's very clear he's not going to see this season out if they can afford to pay him off, obviously. I think the fans have lost faith in his practices. I think they don't really seem to buy in. Results like what you get against QPR, that's just not acceptable to a team recently relegated out of the Premier League. And you can completely understand why the Leicester fans would be losing patience with that kind of result and that kind of performance. But I do think there's a good team in there. We know they've got unbelievable attacking talent, but we also know they are so vulnerable defensively that everybody's got a chance of scoring against them. I'm not going as far as you. I'm just going for a 2-2 in this one.
Oh, Desmond, like it. I like it a lot. Coventry, Swansea. Cov have won 7 home games in a row at the CBS Arena. They're big favourites to win this game. Swansea 3 wins out of 4, but all of them have come at home. I will back a Coventry win. I think we should win this game. I think we're good enough to do it. I think we have been incredible at the CBS. One of my mini targets for the season is to go unbeaten at home, which I think is a real possibility. Keep winning games. If we win most of our home games, we'll be almost there in the Premier League. Swansea, a difficult one to judge. I think Vopotnik will probably score in this game. Brilliant finisher, brilliant player. Coventry's defence suffering from illness as well. Thomas and Kitchen both sick and missed the Southampton game. So we'll see who comes back in here. I won't back the 5-goal bonus, but I will go for a 3-1 home win. What about you, Ollie?
Ooh, snap. I've also gone for a 3-1 home win. I think, some people might look at it and say Cov look as though they could be running out of a little bit of form. And I think it's only 1 win in the last 4. But let's put that in context. It's a defeat away at Ipswich and a draw away at Southampton. 2 of the hardest games you are going to play this season. And then Preston, where you just have that hoodoo where you never win at Preston. So I think ultimately it's not a bad run. It's just a case of sometimes the games are hard. And we have to understand that. I think they'll immediately turn this around as soon as they're back at home. Swansea, like you say, turned it around when they're at home, but their away form is poor. I think under Matos, they've lost both of their away games so far, and I think they'll make it 3 out of 3. 3-1 Coventry.
Interesting. You can't trust Coventry to keep a clean sheet really at the minute. So it seems like the best way to go about it is a Coventry win and both teams to score. Sheffield Wednesday, Hull, very straightforward. I'll back Sheffield Wednesday to lose every single game they play this season. I'm going for a 2-0 Hull win. I'm massively impressed with Hull. I think they are serious playoff contenders now this season. How's your whole little hatred going, Ollie? Have you climbed off that horse yet?
It's just me eating some humble pie because I think I owe an apology to Hull fans, because every time I start, I get really big on my Hull agenda, and every time I do, they immediately turn it round. They look like a much better team. McBurney's come back in and has immediately started scoring goals, but more importantly, is it 2 clean sheets in the last 3 games? They really look as though they've sorted out some of those defensive issues. They're relying less on the chaos and more on sort of structured play, and I think that makes a huge difference to their chances of reaching the playoffs. All of a sudden, if they've sorted out that defense, they look a serious team at this level because they're still able to create chances and score goals. That is huge for them. Like you said, I will just back Wednesday to lose every opportunity I get. I'm going to say 4-1 to Hull because I need bonus points where they come.
He's going for the bonus points. I love it. I love that tactic. Norwich Charlton. Now, I think we can safely say that Norwich are probably not going to go down this season under Philippe Clement. I think they've really turned it around, looking really impressive. We're unfortunate not to beat Preston away as well when they conceded in the very last second. I am, with something I never thought I'd say this season, watching them under Liam Manning, I'm going to back Norwich to win at Carrow Road. Can you believe it? I'm going to go for a 2-1. I think it'll be a really tight game. I think you know what you're going to get with Nathan Jones away from home. I think they're looking good. And the striker, whose name I've forgotten, Ollie, help me out here. Not Josh Sargent.
Kieran Gard.
Yeah. No.
Watford.
No, the Norwich one. It's not Macamba, is it? Macamba? Macamba?
Yeah.
That's his name.
Macamba.
That's his name. I couldn't pronounce it. Scoring loads of goals, looking really, really good actually, and they're not really missing Sargent. I think he could play this weekend. I think they'll win. I think Norwich will win this one 2-1. How are you feeling about this one?
I really enjoyed our little brain fart there. I don't know what was going on. All of a sudden, the names were just not there. I was like,
you were just saying,
Danish guy.
You were just saying strikers that play in yellow.
Yeah, gonna say, if you're a striker, you play yellow, probably at Norwich. Let's just crack on from there. I think this is such an interesting one to try and predict because you're right. Norwich have massively turned it around under Clement. I think all of a sudden they don't look like a team that are going to be relegated from the division, but they've got to find teams to catch. They've got to win games like this. And actually, I did a bit of a look. We were talking about Coventry before, and I said, is it a bad run when you're just playing really hard games? Well, Charlton had that run of 5 defeats in a row, but they lost 1-0 away at Wrexham. It's a really difficult away game for anybody in the division. You don't want to be going to Wrexham. They've then lost to Southampton at home. They've lost away at Stoke, a Stoke who at the time was second in the division, riding a real high. They've lost away at Coventry. They've lost away at Middlesbrough. That is a run of 5 games where you go, actually, you would expect to lose those games. It looks really bad because they come back to back. But generally speaking, they are games where you would say, yes, Charlton are going to struggle there. When they have games where you would expect them to pick up points, Charlton are really good at grinding it out and getting over the line. It's what Nathan Jones has done throughout his career. And it's what he's done so successfully at Charlton so far this season. I think off the back of beating Oxford last week, they'll back that up. I'm going to back them to beat Norwich and go 2-1 to Charlton.
Wow, Kelman's back fit as well now, isn't he? And he scored last weekend, did he as well? So he's a key player. Any other games left in the Championship? Oh no, wait, there is one, isn't there, Ollie? Of course there is. By the way, 5:30 on Boxing Day. You've pulled out the absolute gem of a kickoff time there. Means you can have your nice little relaxing day, watch the other games, and then finish with a bang. Sheffield United go to Wrexham, and best team in the league right now, aren't they? Sheffield United. I don't know what you're looking worried about.
Honestly, this is one of those games where, we are. I have no doubt about this. If you took us right now and you said the season starts today, I think we would be automatic promotion contenders. I think we are as good enough to say that now. We have consistently scored goals, consistently started keeping clean sheets. We look like a fully rounded, really good football team, particularly at Championship level. Unfortunately, we started so badly that we won't even make the playoffs because we've just got so much to catch up.
Yes, you will. Come on.
I hope you're right. I think to make the playoffs, we probably need to go at 2 points a game from now till the end of the season. I think that's broadly what we're looking at. I think if we did that, we'd end up around 72, 73 points. And that's how far back we are when we talk about making the playoffs. I think hopefully we will do it. I'm not going to back us to do it because I think we have left ourselves no margin for error whatsoever. And that's where games like this become really interesting. If we can go away, win at Wrexham and win comfortably, as we have done with games in recent weeks, then all of a sudden I'm sat here going, you know what? I think we can do it because we can put together that consistent run. But this is a really horrible game for Boxing Day. And Kiefer Moore, I know for a fact he's going to score. I think if there's one banker of the entire weekend, it's that Kiefer Moore is going to score in this game. I think we are good enough to win it. But given everything else, I'm going to back a 2-2 draw. I think they will break us down. I think Kiefer Moore will be able to get goals. I think we are good enough to hurt anybody, but I just think we might not get over the line in this one.
I like it. I do like that. As a team who have lost at Wrexham already and been on the end of a Kiefer Moore hat-trick, I feel your pain. Yeah, Wrexham, under the lights, big atmosphere. It's tough. It is really, really tough. And you can feel when it's going against you there.
They absolutely hate us as well from something that happened years and years ago. Obviously, when they were having the fairy tale of getting up through the National League, weren't they lucky? No, they spent loads of money and bought the way out. But we played them in the Cup. We drew down at Wrexham. I think it was 3-3 in an absolute worldie of a game. We then battered them back at Bramall Lane, and Ryan Reynolds started slagging Billy Sharp off. So you know when you're having a good time. So it'll be really interesting how they approach this. I think they'll be massively up for it. They'll really want to come out and prove a point against us after that a few years ago. So yeah, I think the energy in the stadium is going to be really hard for United to combat.
These are the games Chris Wilder loves. I'm not going to doubt him. I'm not going to doubt Sheffield United at the minute. You'll like this. You will like this, Ollie. Wrexham 1, Sheffield United 4. Bonus points. Bring on them points.
I did like it.
Gus Harmer, he's back. He's back to his best. Absolutely firing in the goals. I think Wrexham will just be overwhelmed by Sheffield United right now. And I think the playoff push is on, no matter what you say. Ollie, thank you very much for joining me. We'll have to catch up and see how we do. I mean, the next games after Boxing Day are like 2 days later. So we'll chat very, very soon. Everybody, thanks for watching. Please get your score predictions in the comments down below. Have a very, very good Christmas. And we will see you after the Boxing Day results. Come on, Cov. Come on, Sheffield United. Let's get some wins on the board.